How's it going today, guys? It's Daniel with Cuervo ATV. I'm going to be talking to you while I work a little bit today. Today we are talking about 06 through 08 Raptor 700 wire harnesses. Tons of failures on those 2 years, or those 3 years, excuse me, with the wire harnesses going bad. They have grounding issues. So we've gotten to the point of seeing so many failures that now we will no longer do motor builds for those years without billing a wire harness and key switch. So we use the 2013, 2014 wire harness and key switch. And normally I'll put a new lockout relay, which is a 12-pin relay in the back there. Those like to get corroded and have problems with them as well. And due to age, should probably go through and replace that stuff. But 1314 wire harness and key switch is a direct swap. You do need to put the key switch because the connector is different. Besides that, everything's the same. There is one thing that will look different is they have a junction box. So how the wiring is done from manufacturing, how it's routed, how it's connected there, is different layout. So nothing really additional to do there, except there is an extra piece that doesn't connect into anything. It's not open-ended either. So all the way back to 2009, I started doing having to repair or change wire harnesses. So it's been an ongoing issue for a long period of time, not just a recent thing. But it's just escalated to the point where this year I think we're 12 or so failures, and probably have done 20 or so harnesses total. Not including harnesses that we recommended customers to change while helping them troubleshoot over the phone. So if you call me right now and you got a 06 or 08 bike and it is doing something weird, maybe I send you a map, you think maybe the map's bad on your bike, and you're having some concerns, the first thing I'm going to tell you is you need to buy a wire harness to go any further, to do any further troubleshooting on it, because of such a weird result and feedback when the wire harnesses are failing, what the symptoms are. It's a very broad symptom range. Sometimes the bikes will start, sometimes they won't. Sometimes they will fire the injector and you'll have fuel and spark, and then they still won't start because the wire harness of everything that's going on there is firing at the wrong time. So doing a wire harness takes about 5 hours, depending on what else you're doing, what options or mods your bike has on it, or the customer's bike. But any problem in that generation needs a wire harness. So as far as what the new harness does is they're built differently. They are going to be on a 30 amp system, so they can handle the newer fan or aftermarket fan without any issue. Let's see. Besides that, mainly if you're keeping a bike, if you're going to do motor work to it, that is what needs to be happening. So what's happening with them is you pull the motor, disturb the wire harness, everything's been fine to that point. But when you disturb the harness, moving around, those last few strands and those wires will break, and then it won't be able to carry the amperage load across it that it once did. So most often the failures are right after a top end build or right after a motor build. That's where we've got to that point where we're pulling a motor out of a bike that's 06, 07, 08. At that point, we're just gonna put a new harness, not deal with it. I've had 2 on the dyno that have failed on the dyno this year, where I did a motor build, bike did weird stuff, didn't run right on the dyno, gave me some clues, end up putting a wire harness on both those bikes. Another one was one that went out and ran fine for a few trips, and then it started doing some very weird stuff. Customer brought it back, we put a wire harness on it and rechecked the tune on it, and off it went, was just fine. So 06 or 08, buy a wire harness. 2013, 2014, that will solve a lot of issues going on. I know it's a lot of money that is you're not wanting to spend, but it is going to be a necessity at this point to move forward on these older bikes. So that is all I got for you today. We'll talk to you on the next one.